morning. We're back at you at Gloves Off, and today we have a special guest, Chief Constable Deputy Ramirez from Constable Harold DeValley of Webb County, and we're going to talk a little bit about the safeties with the school year that's coming up, safeties with the traffic. You know, we've got kids out in the street, the bullying scenarios that we're going to be dealing with, the drug problems that we have in some of the areas, and what the constable office does to our community and how we benefit from them. Well, good morning. How are we doing today?
Good morning. Gerardo Ramirez, Chief Deputy Constable for Precinct 4, Constable Harold DeValley.
Let me tell you this. Many parents always say, we're afraid of our kids walking to and from school. Was there any really concerns? What do you think? What's your basic concern with that?
Be careful with your kids, for your kids to know other surroundings. If they walk to school, be careful, parents. You know, it's early in the morning sometimes when some of the kids, they send them up to school. Unfortunately, some parents work and they cannot take their kids to school, so they have to walk or take the bus. You still need to be careful. You need to be out there looking out for their safety. If they got to that designated point where they're going to wait for the bus, be sure that they're safe and there's people there and they're going to walk. Some people live close to schools, you know, walking distances, 1 block, 2 blocks, and they walk. You still have to keep an eye on them. You still have to keep an eye on your kids. They're the most important persons in our lives. That's what I think. I have a daughter that is going to be 6, and I look after her. Sometimes I'm overprotective, but I don't care. I'm going to look out for my kids. So parents, look out for your kids. Like I said, if they're walking or they're going to a designated point where they're going to wait for the bus, be and have a lookout for them. Once the kids arrive at school, hopefully, we as constables, we provide security. We direct traffic at several schools in UISD.
Yeah, see that.
And we're there.
And we thank you for that, because you've been doing it for a long time.
We're at Mary Help, at Nile, at Colonel Santos, at Faskin, at Colonel Santos. We're at a lot of schools, and we're there. So once we're there, we take care of your kids. We make sure they cross over to the school safely and properly. You know, kids, also be aware, parents, teach your kids that this is the walkway that you have to walk to cross from one intersection to the next intersection to get to your school. You know, you all have to, we as parents have to be aware of our kids and try to teach them everything. But once they get to that school, they're okay. The schools that we provide traffic for. Because we're there every morning.
And I'm gonna many times when I was dropping off my kids, I would always see the constables directing traffic. And in the morning, sometimes many folks are running late to school. You have people putting on lipstick, on texting on the phones, and going on so on and so forth, combing their hair and putting gel and so on and so forth. And guess what? Sometimes they do not watch the little guys left and right. So you constables do an excellent job in that sense, you know, because you provide that sense of security and that sense of respect that folks come back down. If they're in a busy schedule, their mind somewhere else. Hey, wait a minute, let's focus.
Exactly.
And that's we're grateful for that. One other thing that I'll ask you is, tell me a little bit about what you've done, because I remember you when in the municipal court, and you were the bailiff of municipal judge Ornelas, remember?
Ornelas, Wawi Tiquirina, Judge Caballero,
yeah,
Judge Rosie Cuellar.
That's exactly right.
You know, I started my career in law enforcement. Well, I really started in 1980 with my dad. He had a security agency by the name of Kenin Security, and I ran his business from 80 to 88, and that's when I became a police officer. I went to the police academy. I graduated from the police academy. I was in Laredo PD for 25 years. The last years I served as a bailiff at the municipal court here in the city of Laredo, under Judge Wawi Tiquirina, Judge Alfonso Ornelas Boyer, Judge Juan Caballero, Judge Rosie Cuellar. You know, I served there. A lot of people know me by the municipal court because I was a real disciplinarian there. Because the court is, you go to court for a reason. You go dressed. You know, you're there for a reason to appear before the judge, and the judge is there just to take care of your concerns as far as whatever citation. And that's where I worked. And I retired in 2013.
Okay.
In 2015, Judge Pepe Salinas gave me a call. Judge Pepe Salinas had won to be the JP in the North, replacing the retired Oscar Martinez. And Harold the Valley Constable Precinct 4 hired me for that specific reason, to be Pepe Salinas' bailiff. And after a little bit there, I got to know Constable Harold the Valley, a great man, great law enforcement officer, been also law enforcement officer for 30 years. And we just got together, and he moved me over as his chief deputy. Here,
that's wonderful, because I've known Harold since we were kids, you know, and Harold's been great in law enforcement. I remember him working for an old judge, Albino Walker.
Exactly.
Yes, and he was one of the constables back then, and it's good to see, because Harold has a good sense with the youth.
Yes.
And there's a lot of public officials, don't get me wrong, and I always say this, in Webb County, Harold is one of the few that actually cares about the youth. That's out there in the front. You know, you have a lot of them que saludan con sombrero ajena, but actually he's one of the guys that's out there doing, you know. And,
exactly. He's out there he's out there in the torches with us. You know, he helps us direct traffic. He also mentors. You know, we have I've been in law enforcement already for like 30 years, and we got young officers. We got young officers in our department, and the constable really is mentoring them and nurturing them, and he does his job as the constable, and we're out there for the youth all the time.
One of the main questions that I always get, and they always say, well, you know, what does a constable do? What does a sheriff department do? What's the difference between a constable, the sheriff, the Laredo Police Department, and so on and so forth? You know, can you explain that a little bit?
Exactly. To start off, we're all law enforcement
Exactly.
officers. We're all certified peace officers by the state of Texas. We go to the academy, 4 months, 5 months. You got to get certified in physical training and in academics and everything. So we're all that's the bottom line. We're all law enforcement officers, and we perform all duties that pertain to law enforcement, to protect and to serve.
Okay.
Be it Laredo PD, be it Webb County SO, be it the Webb County Constables, we all are capable of performing all the same duties. Laredo PD, I was there, like I said, you know, I was there, and I really liked being at the Laredo Police Department. You know, we did murders, homicides, robberies, fatalities, domestic violence, you know, crimes in progress. We did everything. Webb County SO also does that, you know, but they do it maybe in a lesser level, you know, but they're still out there. They're in the county, you know, they all do all those things that we do, plus usually they're out there on 35, 59, 83 North, 83 South. Highways. That's what the SO. Us as deputy constables, we encompass the north, all the way to Mines Road, all the way to 83 North, 35.
Your precinct.
My precinct, Precinct 4, Constable Precinct 4, Howard the Valley. This is what it encompasses, and it also encompasses on McPherson East, all the way to the lake, you know, Lakeside, Winfield, Alexander. We patrol all those areas, but our main duties, and we also take care of Judge Pepe Salinas' court. You know, we provide security for Pepe Salinas' court, and we deal with his court as far as writ of executions, writ of attachments, peace bonds, forfeitures, people that are delinquent in their rents, you know, people that show up. We serve all the paperwork for Pepe Salinas, for Judge Pepe Salinas. Plus, we also enforce when all these people that have to show up before the judge, we are there so we can keep order, so everything can run smoothly inside the court for Judge Pepe Salinas. And when we're not doing all that paperwork that we're doing and taking care of security at the JP court, we are patrolling the whole north. Not because I'm saying only the north, but this is what
your precinct
our
does.
precinct. Precinct 4 is the north.
Correct.
We're out there patrolling. We have 13 officers, 13 deputies, you know, and we're out there patrolling, you know, taking care of, you know, residents, patrolling, making sure there's no burglaries or anything that's going on, any criminal work or anything that's going on. And we're out there.
You know, we just had a terrible last week. A young lady was murdered here in Laredo, Texas, and by somebody else, and our police officers in our police department did a great job handling it, finding the murder right away.
Exactly.
I mean, wonderful job to Laredo Police Department, and wonderful job to Judge Lopez for placing that murder without bail.
Exactly.
Because,
exactly.
you know, and when people start talking and when you start reading that murderer's track record, I mean, he shouldn't have been in the street.
In the first place, he shouldn't be out on the street. But, you know, we all have due process.
You're exactly
You
right.
know, we all have the due process, so that's why that individual is probably out. And but now, hopefully, he will stay in there and will never come out again. You know, now that he has that charge also, it's going to be very hard for you to come out. And I don't think he should be out. He has no place in society anymore.
Exactly right.
That individual, you know, I'm not going to name him, but that individual has no place in society anymore, and he needs to stay incarcerated. And hopefully, you know, it works that way and he stays there.
Actually, he should get a nice little injection. That's what he should be getting. But that's for the jury to decide.
Exactly.
But a lot of concerns with parents, especially with the school going in there, and I get them because, you know, we teach the martial arts left and right, and we get a lot of kids with bullying problems, especially with several of the schools on the north side. You know,
Exactly.
When a person or a parent has concerns with bullying, can they contact the constable?
Yes, they can. Bullying does not discriminate. Bullying does not discriminate.
Right, it does not.
Bullying, you're tall, you're short, you're fat, you're skinny, you're dark complected, you're light complected, you have a big nose, you have a big head, or whatever, it does not discriminate. Bullying, you know, if kids are in school and bullying is occurring in the school, and the child immediately has to notify their parents have to notify teachers. You know, sometimes parents complain and say, well, they're not doing anything about it. Well, then you need to go beyond that point, beyond the teacher, go to the counselor, go to the principal. And I would even go to the board of trustees, you know, here at UISD, you know, go to the board of trustees and tell them, because, you know, if these people don't listen to your kids' concerns, their outbreaks or whatever, you know, you need to go higher. You need to go higher until you get to somebody that will hear. Also, us as constables, we're there every morning during the school year, and if parents have concern, little kids have concern, you know, you'd be surprised. You know, we're there directing traffic and everything, and kids come up to us and tell us, hey, thank you for a good job and all that stuff, and they smile and they want to be waved at. They even want to touch you. They want to touch your uniform. Don't let them touch your weapon. But, you know, they want to touch you. Just, I don't know, kids are curious. You know, of a police officer, because
sure.
I consider myself a police officer, and everybody, we're all police officers, you know, so they can come up to us and tell us, you know what, I have this little problem. You know what, I would stop traffic and pull that little boy aside, that little girl aside. What's your concern? What's your problem?
That's exactly.
You know, we're there ready.
That should be done.
We're there ready. Yeah, we're there ready. They have any an outcry or whatever, we're there. We're there ready to listen to them.
And that's what should be done. Many parents come to me and they bring their son, and you can see the differences. And they're a lot of kids that have been bullied, they're very shy. Mm-hmm. They're very recluse. Exactly. Their heads are down, you know, their self-esteem is not up.
And that's where you should know that something's wrong.
And parents, when you see that, your child, hey,
yeah, it's a red flag.
You know, let's find out exactly what's going on. Kids that don't want to go to school, all those things occur. This past year, I ended up with a young lass that... last year she broke her arm, and she went to a local school, and she was in a Bible study group at this school, and I'm not going to mention because I think there's investigation there. I think there's even a lawsuit going on. And what happens is that young lass was bullied outside, was beaten up by 3 boys and 4 girls. They re-snapped her arm, and that school said it was outside the school grounds, and the mom did a police report. Now they're going to court, and it's the whole 9 yards. But those are incidents that occur that one has to be careful with.
Exactly.
Okay, but the most common one is when they start getting bullied inside the classroom. I tell my parents this: when that happens, you have to make a paper trail. Exactly. Send a letter to the teacher. Exactly. Follow it up to the vice principal. Follow it up to the counselor, follow it up all the way up to the trustee. Because if you do not have a paper trail and you just call the teacher, guess what? Voices blow away in the wind. Exactly. And you need to make sure that is written down. Yeah. Now, we have cyberbullying now. What can they call you, the constable, for the concern in case there's somebody getting cyberbullying and like on social media and threats and all this kind of stuff? Can you all do something about that?
Well, we can look into it. Like I said, there's we all have duties. We all have duties. Police officers, sheriff department, constables, and all that stuff. But like I said, I consider myself a police officer 100%, which is law enforcement. So if they say maybe the constable shouldn't get involved in all that stuff, I get involved. Mm-hmm. I get involved, and I tell my people, we're all peace officers. We're here to protect and to serve and to listen to the concerns of anybody that comes up to you with a concern of anything. You listen, and we act. We act on it. If one of my young deputies doesn't really understand really about that situation, you call me.
Exactly right. You're there to mentor the younger ones.
Yeah, you call me and I'll tell you. And like everybody says, even if I don't know, I'll find out the answer. But usually I'm very good as far as anything that comes along my way. You know, I'm there, and I always tell them, you call me. No, sometimes they tell you, no, but you have to follow the chain of command. You call me. You call me. Something that's important and something that needs to be done right there and then, or action needs to be taken, you call me. And we take it from there.
That's what you're there for. What are your projects that you see with the constable doing now towards youth and towards that in the near future? Do you have anything coming of age?
You know, we team up with Roadhouse. We team up with Smoothie Kings. We team up with certain entities and to provide stuff to schools. We go to schools. We right now we're trying. Well, no, I can't say it. But we do work with the youth. We do have all this. We go to schools. We have those career days where we go and talk to the students. We go to the elementaries. We even go to the high schools. Alexander calls us a lot, Alexander High School, and we go, even if they're grown-ups, we still go up there and talk to them about life, about what's going on, about how to behave, how to be good, and all this stuff. So we're out there for the youth. Anybody that calls us, for us to go out there and talk to them about any concern they have, we're ready for them, and we're out there.
Let me butt in real quick. Folks, if you guys want to call in to our number is 956
441-1040.
956-441-1040. Thank you, Sergio. And ask any question you want to the constable, and we'll get some answers out there. One major one that I have, and this is from a parent. If you have, because drugs nowadays it was not only just in high school when we were growing up. Now it's in junior high, and some elementaries are out there smoking pot, And if your kid's being pressured to that, can a parent call you all?
Yes, of course they can. Like I'll say, and I'll say it again, we're law enforcement. We're like police officers. We're out there for the community. We're out there for anybody that needs any help. All they need to do is call us, 956-523-5100. Repeating, 956-523-5100. Constable Harold de Valle, Precinct 4. I'm there. Yeah, we have other experienced officers. And any little concerns, any little questions, you can call us. You can ask for us, for Gerardo Ramirez. And, on this deal about drugs, like you said, it used to be only in the high schools. Now they're in the middle schools big time.
Yeah.
Now they're in the middle school big times. And lately there have been a lot of overdoses here in Laredo.
Yep, exactly right.
There have been a lot of overdoses here in Laredo. A lot of young kids that don't know anything about drugs. And, unfortunately, there's some people that have never done drugs in their life. And they experiment with it, and they're gone. That day, that first time they do that drug, because they don't know how to do it, how to take it, how to inhale it, or whatever they do with it, they take it and they're gone. That first time they try it, they're gone. They're 10 feet under. And that's very sad. That's very sad about this drug use. So people need to be aware, kids. I think more, right now, middle schools, because they don't know what it is, and they're trying all these drugs, and it can be fatal. It can be fatal.
The school districts also have the police. The QISD has a police department. And I don't know who the chief is. It's Gardner?
Ray Gardner.
Ray Gardner.
Ray
He's an
Gardner is the
excellent
chief
peace
for
officer.
UISD.
And if parents, if you do not or have questions or do not know what to do, call the constable's office, especially if you're in UISD North. Call UISD Chief of Police, Ray Gardner. Stop this right then and there. Okay, enough's enough. You know, because many times kids are pressured into drugs, and parents are not in. No, and that goes with bullying and so on and so forth. You know, now we have little gangs going around that we did not have when we were growing up. We had barrios, you know, you were from this barrio or the other barrio. But now you have gangs, and you see that going. And Constable DeValley and I have talked about this for many times, you know, and the problems that we can have with that and what are occurring. And it's just going to get a little bit worse. But we as parents have to monitor who they go out with, who they hang around with.
Exactly.
And it's hard because we have both parents have to work in the majority, you know, and when that happens, the kids are left alone at home, or they're, you know, and they do whatever they want. And so be careful with them. Be careful with them on the net. Be careful with them who they say they're going out with. And get involved in your kid's life, period. That's what I say.
Exactly. And drugs and bullying can go hand in hand too, because,
yes,
you know, you bully this kid and he's intimidated by you, he's terrified of you, and then you start giving him drugs. You start giving them drugs, and that's another form of bullying. You know, they go hand in hand. You know, you're bullying them. Okay, take this, you better take this, you better swallow this, you better inhale this. And these kids are so intimidated and terrified of this subject or person or whatever that they do that. So it goes hand in hand. They're being bullied, and they're also being pushed into doing drugs. Yeah. And it becomes fatal.
You know, I had a dear friend of mine that lost his son, and I remember he would come out, hey, Paul, you know, he goes over there to that house, and he comes back high, and I don't know what to do. And I go, well, number one, you should have called the police.
Exactly.
The first thing, you go straight over there and stop this right then and there.
Exactly. And, that's the way it is. And like we as constables, we're police officers. Just want people to understand that. We're police officers. We can pull anybody over for a traffic violation, for reckless driving. There's a lot of reckless drivers now out there, a lot of reckless drivers that are causing all these fatalities. And domestic violence is high. And, you know, and we're going down the street on McPherson, approaching Shiloh, whatever, and some gentleman can be, you know, grabbing a lady by the hair or whatever, and we will stop and we will take action. Because we are police officers. Right. We do everything what Laredo PD does, and we're out there to, like I said, to serve and to protect. Well, that's what we're out there for.
Anything else that you want to tell our community out there?
Well, like I said, I already went into bullying. You know, you let your parents know, you let your teacher, counselor, principal, board of trustees. You know, your cell phone use as far as and texting, especially on a school zone now that, you know, on the 21st of August school starts in UISD. You know, don't be texting, don't be using your cell phone. You know, forget about the price. The price is $261. No. The fine is $261 for texting, cell phone use, you know, in a school zone or out of school zone. But the most important thing is, you know, you're out there to, you know, be safe and drive safe, not to hit especially a child at a school, because we are there directing traffic, but you never know. Like you said, people are late. Parents, you need to get up early, take care of yourself so you can take care of your kids and take them to school safely. So get up early, you know, and that fine is nothing, $261 compared to losing a life.
No, or damaging one, you know,
damaging.
And the fine is actually not big, because you're saying $250. Some of the other municipalities, it's $850.
Exactly. No, here in Laredo it's $261. So you know, you just need to be careful on this texting and cell phone use, especially around school, when school starts in August the 21st. Be careful out there, parents. Wake up early. Take care of yourself. Take care of your kids. Take them safely to school.
Yeah, I want to thank you again. And I want to thank the constable, and for you all doing a great job. Okay, appreciate it. Anytime you need us, we're here. Be safe. Okay. Once more, we'll see you on Thursday for Gloves Of, another edition. So, again, do not text and drive. And school is coming up. And let's be careful with the little guys, because they're going to be running around the streets trying to go to and go home from school. So be safe.